Welcome back to the familiar console of St. Matthew's in Albury. This is of course the Latorno organ made in 1994, Opus 40, and it was constructed because the old organ here went up in flames along with a lot of the church. So we're very blessed to have this instrument, and as you can see just over here we have 3 odd draw stops. And that's the reason for this video today. And they're actually the new digital stops for the organ. And there's going to be a face plate here called the Grande Pedale. And if you've been following my channel, you would have an idea that this has been a long time coming. I think it was a project started in 2017, and a lot of fundraising efforts from a lot of different people. I finally got to see the promised land. And these are only temporary draw stops. They didn't arrive in time, but luckily the organ builder here who installed the digital stop system put some makeshift knobs so we can use it. They are from the Walker Digital company, and it works also with the existing setter system combination sequencer. And the pedals down below there, they have contacts underneath them to obviously trigger the stops. So in the Grande Pedale section, we have a 16-foot Contrebasse, a 32-foot Gambe, and a 32-foot Sous-basse. I think that's what it will be called. They'll obviously have the French-inspired names from this French organ. I flipped you around so I can give you a bit of history on the 32-foot division here. And this was kindly provided by John Scott from Albury, who is our organ curator and looks after the St. Matthew's Albury organ here in between tunings. He keeps everything clean and tidy and is basically the custodian of this instrument. So we really have a lot to thank to John Scott for organising everything here. So the concept of adding the 32-foot stop originated 20 years ago when John Ross, the former director of music, David Luxon, John Scott met with Fernand Latorno when he came to St. Matthew's in 1994. This was at the conclusion of the warranty period of the organ. At the time, well, the organ gallery didn't have space for the 30 pipes required for a 32-foot. And some consideration was given to installing them in what is now known as the Warriors Chapel. So John still has a sketch from Latorno showing these towering pipes that were artistically arranged on the south wall adjacent to the windows. Costs and practicalities meant that that project couldn't proceed. So installation of digital pipes certainly requires far less space, and the install of this digital system took about 10 days, I think. So the stops that were added were the Contrebasse 16, so the equivalent of a loud open wood, a Gambe 32, soft 32-foot stringish sound, and a Principal 32, so a louder 32-foot. The unit generating these sounds are installed inside the organ case. It's supplied by Walker and called by the acronym POET, which stands for Pipe Organ Enhancement Technology. So it receives input from the stop knobs and from the pedal keys. The sound that is generated is fed through 2 large speakers in the corners of the gallery, so the left and the right of the organ case. And there's cables which include the power and the audio. There's 4 smaller speakers positioned within the organ case with the pedal section of the organ, which is halfway up the casework and at the back. So with the 2 large speaker boxes, the bell tower side one speaks up from the top of the cabinet, and the one on the Dean Street side speaks out from the back of the cabinet. They have been placed with some space around them, and especially a gap between them and the wall. Given that they're boxes and they look like they're just a piece of furniture, everyone who comes up in the gallery, choirs, choir members, organists, etc. They all have a responsibility to ensure nothing is placed on top of the speakers, in between the cabinets or in the wall behind them. But really, especially on them, because anything on them is going to vibrate and eventually fall off. So the installation is now complete, except for obviously the stop knobs. I hope will come very soon so I can take some photos and show them to you. So really, thank you to John Scott, thank you to Mark Carden, the treasurer, director, Peter McLeod Miller, and everyone involved, all the organists, for actually helping us fundraise and just vouch for this magnificent organ in our region, to add some additional stops and give it more gravitas, which we needed. Now, I also wanted to, obviously, you want to hear these stops, not just on its own, but in a piece. I was trying to think of a piece to demonstrate all three of this new pedal stops. And I thought of playing the Elegy by Thalben Ball, but we've heard that many times. So I'm actually going to play another Elegy on Thaxted by my YouTube friend Deagan Jones, who actually just posted his senior organ recital. I remembered that I have a copy of that score and that I haven't played it yet. So this is Deagan Jones's chorale prelude on Thaxted, featuring the 3 new digital stops.